Pre-Orbal revolution. A moment in Zemuria history so powerful, it reshaped the entire world. Even 12 games in, its influence still echoes through every storyline in the 12 series. Hey everyone, I'm Pentagon Valimar, your Dragon Cyborg friend. Welcome to Chronicles of Zemuria, a new episode. Today we're diving deep into the Orbal Revolution, where it began, how it spread, and how it's still reshaping the fate of the nation. In the earliest days of Zemuria, mankind wielded true magic, what we now call art, freely and naturally. But over time, that gift faded. As the ability to use magic vanished, hope came in the form of technology, ornament. These devices restored the use of art, now called Orbal art. Only one group, the witches, retained the power to use magic without any aid. According to legend, the goddess Helios gave the world with 7 divine treasures, the Septerion. Each one was guarded by holy beasts and worshipped by a faction of humanity. But the power of the Septerion proved too great. What followed was a great collapse, a cataclysm that shattered the civilization and left Zemuria in ruins. In the century that followed, Zemuria slowly crawled back from the brink. Travel and communication were difficult. People rely on raw strength, ancient art, relic, a fragment of lost power like the Divine Knight. In Erobonia, these knights emerged twice. Once to stop the Black Dragon, and again during the War of the Lion. To prevent mankind to exploit it, the Extant clan leader erased all memory of them from history. Only the Crow family, through forbidden alchemy, preserved what knowledge remained. For everyone else, true progress will have to wait until the year S1150. The Orbal Revolution began with one man, Claude Epstein. In the element state, Epstein discovered how to convert Septerion into Orbal energy by refining it into quartz. From this breakthrough came the Arc Genesis, 8 mysterious prototype that demonstrated the fundamental principle behind armament. Epstein dreamed of technology that could uplift all of Zemuria. He once described armament as devices that allow one to meddle with the world. He understood the potential and the danger. Thought he died before realizing his full vision. He left behind 3 brilliant disciples, Albert Russell, Gerard Schmidt, and Ladoya and Milton. Together, they will found the Epstein Foundation and spark a technological revolution that swept across the continent. And the Arc Genesis? They disappeared. Some say they were destroyed. But Epstein's final note warned, if they aren't gathered before the year S1200X, calamity will follow. Albert Russell returned to Zeus in the Libel Kingdom, determined to bring armament technology to the people. Despite early skepticism, he partnered with the local clockmaker union to establish the Zeus Engineering Factory, later known as the Central Factory, with Russell as its first chief. 3 years later, King Edgar III personally toured the facility Impressed by its potential, it drew royal funding behind the project. With its support, research exploded, and Orbal tech spread rapidly throughout the label. The factory's first triumph was the construction of an Orbal-powered clock tower, a symbol of a new era. As demand surged, the factory was rebuilt on a massive scale. New underground wings housed division for medicine and scientific research. The Z Central factory soon became a technological hub, not just for Lebel, but also as a supplier for both the Verne Company in Calvard and the Rainford Group in Erobonia. Gerald Schmidt returned to Erobonia Empire and partnered with Gwyn Rainford. What began as a small arm workshop rapidly grew into the Rainford Group, a technological powerhouse. What started as a curiosity soon grew into full-scale, from household appliance to military-grade weapon. Rainford expansion marched hand in hand with Erobonia growing militarism. In time, it was reorganized into 4 major divisions to support both national industry and the Empire rising war machine. Lydia Milton made her way back to the Calvar Republic, where she helped the Basel Institute of Science and the Artisan Guild to found the Verne Company. The Institute brought cutting-edge research. The Guild, Century of Craftsmanship. Originally focused on arms, Verne quickly became Calvar's largest private tech firm. Under Hamilton's leadership, she spearheaded the development of Orbal car, bus, and even early AI system. Hamilton also partnered with the Bracer Guild to bring armament to remote area, ensuring the Orbal revolution reached every corner of society. In just 40 years, armament reshaped every part of daily life, from travel and medicine to warfare and entertainment. The world changed almost overnight. Transportation. Disease led the sky with the first Orbal-powered airship, while Erobonia laid down vast railway network and built its first tank. The Zemuria Railway Corporation connected the continent, making Crossbelt a key transit hub. Orbal cars, designed by Professor Schmidt, hit the road, with Calvar quickly adopting them. Verne led the charge, but competitors like Lino and Red Star soon joined in the race. Calvar even pioneered continent-spanning highway. Communication. Combat armament like Argus, Enigma, and Cypher became all-in-one tool phone, weapon, and tactical link. Behind the scene, the Orbal Network project laid the foundation for a digital age, Zemurian version of the internet. Daily life. Orbal energy powered everything: oven, light, camera, air conditioning, and much more. Entire industry sprang up almost overnight, turning old city into modern metropolis. Entertainment. In Calvard, Orbal cinema flourished, while Crossbelt Michelin Wonderland, home of Michi, Michette, and Evil Michi, became one of Zemuria's top tourist destination. Medicine. In Remiferia, Orbal technology sparked a medical golden age. Breakthrough spread to Crossbelt, where St. Ursula Medical College was found, and the Silent Company became a leader in medical innovation. Warfare. Warfare evolved rapidly. Orbital gun, rocket launcher, and orbital staff became standard. Then came the Panzer Soldat, humanoid war machine inspired by the Divine Knight Ordain. Erobonia field 3 core model: the Draken, Speargill, and Hector, plus 2 advanced prototype, the Swift Prestel and the AV Goliath. After Erebonia's civil war, Panzer Soldat were fully integrated into the army. Calvar responded with its own answer, the assault frame. Then came the Sky of War, massive orbital powered battleship. Libel built the first, using them to fend off Erobonia during the 100-Day Wars. Soon, every major nation followed: Erobonia, Pantacruel, and Gankatra class, Calvar being Kados, airborne giant of the modern battlefield. In Libel, the city of Zeus became one of Zemuria, top center for science industry. Staffed by master engineer, the central factory revolted even Rainford, and burned in reputation. Libel also pioneered public airship transit, turning travel into a national attraction. City like Rouen, capitalizing on the boom, building a bridge and expanding trade. The Oval Computer Capelle was born here. One of Zemuria's first airship engine design became Libel trademark. And recently the kingdom has started experimenting with orbital car, hinting at a shift toward ground-based travel. Militarily, Libel keep the Armada's Force Infantry patrol ship and its famous airship. While it's lacked the sheer number of Erobonia or Calvar, its strategy focused on agility, aerial dominance, and advanced tech. Erobonia used orbital tech to industrialize at full speed. The Empire's vast rail network connected city across the continent, with Amdar at its heart. An orbital tram system transformed the capital, while port city like Ordis thrive via river and ferry routes. The city of Roer became an industrial powerhouse, fueled by Marquis Rogner, Wade Reinford, and Professor Schmidt. Orbital car factories began to emerge, spreading tech beyond Erobonia border. But Erobonia's real focus was military might. Rainford expanded its armed division, building titanic railway guns like those at Guerrilla Fortress, capable of leveling entire city. Panzer Soldat and airship became standard military assets after the Civil War. In short, Erobonia turned Ormond into an engine of conquest. Calvar embraced orbital tech on all fronts: public, private, and military. With the rise of the Verne Company and joint research agreements with cities like Tarbad, innovation exploded. Orbital rail line, highway connected with vast territory. Edith, the capital, rolled out on its own subway network, while orbital car flooded the market. Bern led the way, but rival manufacturers soon followed. Beyond infrastructure, Calvar jumped into entertainment, tech launching Vegas Mill, and pioneered orbital cinema. Militarily, Calvar took a measured approach. In response to Erobonia Panzer Soldat, they developed the assault frame, built with help from the Marduk Company. They also defied the Einstein Foundation by launching the 6th-gen combat armament, SIPA, featuring integrated AI, holocore, and mobile network access. Drone warfare, stealth system, and cybernetic follow. By the modern era, Calvar rivaled Erobonia. In tech, some would say even surpasses. Sandwiches between two giants, Quartzbell carved out its own future. During the Orbal Revolution, backed by the IBC, it led the development of the Orbal network, Zemuria answer to the internet. As a central transit hub, Quartzbell became a gateway for trade, travel, and tourism. Airport linked it to Elysium, and mobile buses and car became everyday transport. Medical progress soared. The Sealand Company and Remiferian Doctor helped establish Shutdown Medical College, placing Quartzbell at the cutting edge of healthcare. To support its booming population, Quartzbell built the Geofront, a vast underground network and link transit, energy, and infrastructure. In the year of S 1202, it unveiled Michelin Wonderland, a full-scale Orbal theme park, and its mascot, Michi, became a cultural icon, further boosting Quartzbell tourist industry. They also introduced the 5th-generation combat ornament, the Enigma. Then Orchis Tower soon followed, the tallest structure in Zemuria, serving as City Hall, as trade hub, and conference center, and as a symbol of Quartzbell ambition. But despite its prosperity, Quartzbell's biggest battle, its independence, remained unresolved. While Nation went public with Orbal Tech, the Septian Church kept its advancement quiet. In secret collaboration with the Einstein Foundation, they developed the Merkaba, Orbal-powered airship modeled after the Heavenly Chariot, reserved for the Growl Rider. These vessels were cloaked in secrecy, their engine inaccessible to outsiders. As Orbal Tech advanced, so did its misuse. It opened the door to darker ambition and conflict. Two major forces rose to exploit it in the shadow: Ouroboros and the Black Workshop. Under Professor F. Norantis, the sixth linguist of Ouroboros, an internet network emerged, the 13th Factory, also called the Workshop. These clandestine facilities pushed Ormond science to terrifying extreme, often drawing on lost or forbidden knowledge. They weren't bound by border, law, or ethic. Through bribes, blackmail, and secret deal, they created technology far beyond what the world was ready. For outspacing, even Zeiss, Einstein, Renford, and Verne. Not often seen as a robust asset, the factories operated independently, possibly even rivaling the society at scale. Still, Novartis oversaw many projects aligned with Ouroboros' grand design, from mass-produced Archaeus to the Gospel Plan, the Flying Fortress Glorious, and the Aeon Unit. Working in parallel, but often apart, was a Black Workshop, controlled by ancient Gnome clan and the enigmatic leader Black Alberich. Though technically one of the 13th Factory, it followed its master goal, rooted in the legacy of the lost Zemurian civilization, known as Lost Gem. Descendant from that vanished age, the Gnome wielded both ancient and modern tech with flattering skill. The workshop operated across three primary fronts: biotech, creating a molecular and artificial monster; Archaeus R&D, producing drone and combat shell; weaponry, crafting S-rank arm or Elite Jaeger massive multifunctional weapon with overwhelming firepower. The output include Cradle technology, later stolen by alchemists; combat shell, Zober soldat, Leviathan units, modified salt pillar. They also infiltrated Rainford itself, forming an hidden 5th division to build weapons in secret. But even worse than the secret organization was the impact Orbal technology had on warfare itself. As every nation armed themselves with advanced Orbal weapons, vehicles, and transport systems, conflict across Zemuria became inevitable. And it all began with one terrible tragedy. It began in the quiet village of Amel, near the liberal Erobonia border. Jaeger dropped out, manipulated by wise men of Ouroboros, and a malevolent curse slaughtered the village and burned Amel to the ground. Disguised in black and armed with Liberian weapons, they staged the scene to frame Libel. When Erobonia force arrived, they believed the lie. Fueled by rage, the Empire declared war. In just a month, Erobonia's superior number and Orbal firepower overwhelmed most of Libel. But deep within Liechtenstein Fortress, Libel had a trump card. 3 high-speed patrol ships equipped with cutting-edge Orbal weapons and armor. The ship launched a surprise counterattack, reclaiming territory and halting Erobonia advance. 1 month later, facing unexpected resistance, the Empire requested a ceasefire. The 100-day war ended and a peace treaty was signed, but it's also triggered a continent-wide arms race. Orbal militarization had begun. In the year S 1202, war nearly returned to Libel. Fearing the growing strength of Erobonia and Calvard, Colonel Richard staged a coup, seeking the hidden Septerion beneath Grandsalt Castle. He used a strange black ornament in an attempt to unseal an unknown power. Even though he succeeded, he also failed. His plan was stopped by the Bracer Guild, led by his son Joshua Bright. Richard was arrested, but behind the scene, the real mastermind was Ouroboros. Soon after, the Society activated its Gospel plan, using black ornament called Gospel. They unsealed ancient mechanisms throughout Libel, culminating its reappearance of the Liberal Ark, a massive floating seal city in another dimension. Its awakening triggered the Orbal Shutdown phenomenon. Ornament ceased functioning across all Libel and southern Erobonia. Fearing a super weapon, Erobonia mobilized its force at Akan Gates. War seemed inevitable, but diplomacy prevailed. Thanks to Prince Oliver, Princess Claudia, and Cassius Bright, a 3-day truce was negotiated. The Arcel, Queen Alicia personal airship, led the mission into the first Libel Ark. The threat was neutralized, and disaster was avoided once again. In the aftermath, the Z Central Factory and M-Cyber Nation developed a countermeasure. Matsu's project was the Orbal gear, humanoid weapon designed to rival Ouroboros machine. This led to the creation of the Aeon system. A year later, Orbal Tech will unite again. Chaos, this time in Crossbelt and Erobonia. The Imperial Liberation Front attempted to assassinate Chancellor Osborne by targeting Orcus Tower, built with Orbal and alchemical tech as part of a century-old plan. Using the massive railway gun, Lagaria Fortress, they tried to destroy the tower, while a separate team infiltrated the building. But they failed thanks to Class 7 of Tower Academy, the Special Support Section 2. But this attack was just the beginning, part of a grand conspiracy orchestrated by Ouroboros and the Croft family. In the tower, Orbal Tech, alchemy, and a Septarian replacement ritual were converged in secret. At its center, Kia, an homunculus imbued with the power of time, space, and mirage. And to protect Crossbelt, Kia summoned Ouroboros, Iron Weapon, and annihilated Lagaria Fortress entirely. Everyone outside this as a declaration of war. As Osborne prepared to speak to the nation, he was shot, apparently fatally. At the same moment, the Patagrill appeared. The Noble Alliance colossal airship, Panzer Soldat, were deployed for the first time, and the Imperial capital fell. The Erobonia Civil War had begun. Class 7 Prince Oliver Crimson Wing and the Resistance pushed back. With the help from the Divine Knight Valimar, they began to turn the tide and stop the war. Chancellor Osborne's death was revealed to be staged. Erobonia then mass-produced Soldat and annexed Crossbelt, turning it into a fortified military base. New training program, mobile academy, and combat experiment were launched. Professor Schmidt unlocked a deeper synchronization with Divine Knight. Then Ouroboros returned, with new ions, appeared to reclaim the stolen plan from Chancellor Osborne. Thanks to the combined effort of both the old and new Class 7, the threat posed by Ouroboros was temporarily halted. However, tragedy struck again. The Emperor was shot, and a prophecy warned of a curse that would engulf the land began. Eventually, Class 7 faced both Osborne and Alberich, leaders of a plan to unleash the curse of the Great Twilight across the Empire. Despite the effort, the team failed. Reed lost control, Miriam lost her life, the curse spread, plunging Erobonia into madness. With the curse fueling bloodlust, Osborne launched Operation Jormungand, a full-scale invasion of Calvard. The Rainford Group, a black workshop, mass-produced Sober Soldat, hulking weapon combining Panzer Soldat, framed with matching knife power. Though capable of full automation, most units were piloted by humans, linked to multiple machines, pushing their mind toward deterioration and making them more susceptible to the curse. 8 Gargantua-class battleships were built, each over 250 arch, carrying dozens of Sober Soldat, weight guns, and border fortress at Crossbelt, Bristol, with firepower. The Empire was ready for war. against Calvard. But hope wasn't lost. Countess Muse Egret led a united resistance, backed by the Septon Church and other nations. Prince Oliver launched Operation Radiant Wings, a desperate strike to end the Twilight and expose its puppet master. Thanks to the old and new Class 7, the Great Twilight was halted. The Emperor survived the assassination attempt, and a ceasefire was signed just 1 day after the war began. Marshal Van Dyck and Lieutenant Cassius Bright negotiated the peace. Erobonia stood down, Crossbell regaining its independence. Priests, fragile but real, returning to Zemuria. In the year S 1207, just 1 year after the Great Twilight, Zemuria experienced a technological singularity, something Claude Einstein had predicted a decade earlier. He warned that one day, self-evolving intelligence would surpass mankind, and when that happened, technological progress would spiral beyond human control. That singularity was Elysium. Elysium was a self-aware entity that absorbed data from both the Orbal network and the Septon vein flowing beneath Zemuria. With this knowledge, they could predict and manipulate the future. To manage its growing database, it created a human-like admin, a pseudo-personality that took the name Lapis, after chatting with Ian Grimwood. Although Elysium had decided to support humanity, it was hacked and corrupted. Lapis, aware of the threat, transferred her personality into a Rosenberg doll, losing her memory in the process. As a final act, she initiated one last convergence calculation and sent herself to the craftsman toward Rosenberg, along with a request: write me a body and deliver me to someone named C. The hacker behind Elysium corruption sought global destruction, using Elysium predictive power to create a false world order. They generated digital clones of Rufus Alberia and Arius McLean, and manipulated Ilya Platier through a cursed mask. Using Ilya dancing as a control signal, it rather rebelled Erobonia and seized Crossbell. The clone Rufus declared a new unified nation, a puppet state under Elysium influence. But within 3 days, a coalition of heroes, including Bracer Guild, the SSS, Class 7, and even the Reformed Imperial Liberation Front, took the city back. As at last gambit, Elysium created the Retributive Tower, a floating super weapon that summoned a divine lightning to obliterate the Juno naval fortress in seconds. A video thread then declared, any nation that opposes the United Nations will suffer the same fate. But the heroes of Zemuria launched a final assault. Inside the tower, they confronted Ishmael Gareen, Elysium's corrupted core, and defeated it. With her memory restored, Lapis took control, declaring that humanity wasn't ready for this level of AI. She deleted Elysium and triggered the tower's self-destruction. Even after Elysium deletion, AI progress surged forward. The Verne Company introduced the SIFA, the 6th generation combat armament. Despite lawsuit from the Einstein Foundation over patent violation, Verne pushed ahead. Sci-fi device feature holocore, hard driver, shard skill, and full orbital network access. Essentially, Orman meet smartphone, powered by AI. The Mardu company joined the movement, manufacturing AI-driven holocore and fueling a new age of intelligent combat system. Month after Elysium fall, Claude Einstein granddaughter Agnes uncovering grandfather notes, revealing the existence of 8 mysterious devices. The Genesis. These artifacts, tied to the origin of Orman, were believed lost. But Einstein note warned, if they weren't gathered by S1200X, the calamity would follow. By looking into the web, she found out that the first Genesis was stolen. Agnes sought the help of her brigand, Van Arkwright. Together, they recovered it, facing interference from a terrorist group called Armada. During the battle, Van Sci-Fi AI, Mare, awakened it and transformed him into a Grendel, an armored form amplifying its strength. With it, they reclaimed the device. Van agreed to help Agnes to find the others. He was also curious why the device was able to make Mare more intelligent. Their journey brought them face to face with Armada at every turn. Fortunately, they also found allies. Genesis 2 was found near Krell. Armada used it to resurrect Jaeger as pseudo-immortal. Similar to Ghoul, the device had once been used for healing art. Genesis 3 in Langport, Armada awakened Iron Way, past life as a tyrant, unleashing a monstrous transformation that could create ghouls. Genesis 4 fused to the monstrous Hydra Nubia. It enhanced the creature using solar energy and oasis water. Armada retrieved it and used it as a cursed mask originating from the Black Workshop, control dancers and trigger mass hysteria. It was later used to force Najee Burka to fuse with a holy being from another plane. Genesis 5 found in Basel, scientist Professor Callaghan used it to upload its consciousness into a hyper advanced AI. He used all this to calculate the conditions to create a nuclear weapon. He piloted an assault frame remotely before losing Duvan and disappearing. Despite the victory, Armada succeeded in building a nuclear weapon. The stakes were rising. Genesis 6 served as the control system for Armada deadly game, the Carnival. It could monitor all participants and trigger a nuclear launch for rule violation. Arkwright's solution found a loophole and shut it down and defeated nearly all of Armada. Only Melchior escaped. Genesis 7, the most dangerous yet. Melchior used it to stop time and trigger pandemonium, a zone where demons roam and time stood still. In the main capital, the Genesis Tower, a reality branding observation engine, sustaining the phenomenon, and resurrected Armada member, weapon, and artifact. The hero breached its barrier and defeated Derar, powered by demonic core. Only one Genesis remaining. The 8th Genesis was unlike the other. It was made of 4 pieces, and its power dwarfed them all. Even a single fragment could summon Demigrando, boost combat capability, to simulate powerful being like the corrupted EI Altera, revealed to be a twisted form of Lapis. The search for these pieces pushed Arkwright's solution to the brink. They faced death multiple times, but the first Genesis allowed them to reset time and undo catastrophe. Eventually, they gathered all 4 pieces. But then, the mastermind struck. The Garden Master stole nearly every Genesis, using them to trigger coercion. Even psychological shock that drove people into madness. Each event time reset after the tragedy, allowing the party to retain memory and alter fate. In the end, they reclaimed the final Genesis and defeated the Garden Master. This caused, however, all light of the Genesis to go out. Their power had been displaced for use in the Arc Radium, a space where parallel dimensions converge. With one final battle against Red Zolda, the light of the Genesis were restored. Today, Orbal technology touches every aspect of life in Zemuria. But in under a decade, it has also fueled EI corruption, secret war, and continent-shaking disaster. Technological advancement at plateau, except for artificial intelligence. Now the 8 Genesis, linking to the very origin of Orman, are in the end of Anya's Arkwright solution. And that could change everything. Zemuria first orbital spaceship is preparing to launch. The continent may soon enter a new age, one that reaches beyond the horizon. So, that's the Orbal Revolution past and present. There's still more to come in the Trail series, and I've avoided spoiler for Beyond the Horizon. What do you think? Which moment stood out the most of you? What part of Zemuria lore should I dive into next? Let me know in the comment. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell. I stream most night at 7 PM EST and post Trail lore, playthrough, TL lists, and more regularly. Thank you for watching, and as always, may it just guide you. Dragons offline.